Walk into a modern home today and you'll see every marker of success. High-definition screens in every room, gigabit internet, and furniture belonging in a magazine. But beneath the surface of this material abundance, a specific type of silence is taking hold. The peace is gone. This graph represents the trajectory of the domestic unit. While digital connectivity and material assets have climbed to record heights, the line representing emotional intimacy has dropped to the bottom of the chart. We share the same square footage while living in different time zones. On social media, the family looks whole. The photos are bright, the smiles are synchronized, and the captions suggest a life of harmony. But these images often function as a mask for a different reality occurring once the cameras are put away. The decay shows up in the small things first. It's the husband and wife who have run out of things to talk about, or the pervasive, low-level stress that makes everyone retreat into their own devices the moment they walk through the front door. We have spent decades perfecting the physical house, only to realize that proximity doesn't guarantee connection. You can have a house full of people and still be part of a broken home. When emotional distance sets in, the adults often believe they are the only ones suffering. They assume the tension is contained within their marriage, but the people most affected by the coldness of a home are rarely the ones who created it. Consider the experience of a child sitting alone in a dark bedroom. He isn't focused on his toys or his homework. He listens to his parents argue next door. As the volume rises, he presses his hands against his ears to make the world quiet. In that moment, his prayer isn't for a better life or new things. He simply whispers, "God, please make my mom and dad friends again." This is the collateral damage of a prideful marriage. A child carries a weight they cannot name and a problem they cannot fix, forced to navigate the fallout of an emotional disconnect they didn't ask for. It is easy to confuse a paycheck with a partnership. Many parents fall into the trap of believing that the hours they spend away from home earning a living count as emotional equity within the home. There was a father who lived this way, working late every night, chasing the next promotion, and sacrificing his sleep to ensure his family lacked nothing. He thought he was building a legacy. He only realized his mistake when his daughter told him, "Dad, you work so hard for us, but you're never actually with us." When we prioritize external success over internal vulnerability, we are letting ego drive the car. We choose the validation of the world because it feels easier than the difficult, often messy work of honest communication at home. In the pursuit of securing a future for the family, we can inadvertently destroy the family's present. This friction contradicts the very design of the family unit. The Genesis principle describes marriage as two people becoming one flesh, a union designed for total shared life, not just shared expenses. Pride acts as a corrosive agent in that union. It turns conversations into competitions, where someone has to be right and someone has to be wrong, effectively ending the possibility of real understanding. The alternative is the patience and forgiveness described in the New Testament. It is the choice to keep no record of wrongs and to value the relationship more than your own reputation. Think of this love as the mortar between the bricks. Without it, the physical walls might stand for a while, but the structure has no internal strength to survive the storms of life. The silence in a home doesn't have to be permanent. It ends when we stop protecting our pride and start protecting our people. The choice is whether you want to be right or whether you want to be connected. Rebuilding starts by reclaiming your schedule. This means choosing physical time with your family over the pursuit of extra income. Presence is the only currency that actually settles the debt of emotional distance. Next comes the work of letting go. Healing is impossible if you are still trying to win every argument. It requires the humility to admit when you are wrong and the grace to let it go when they are. When you pray together, you are acknowledging that your family answers to a higher authority than your own ego. It creates a shared alignment that few other habits can match. Finally, prioritize your attention over your assets. Your children need your curiosity and your warmth more than they need the latest gadget or a larger bedroom. These aren't just ideas, they are daily actions. A healthy home is built one conversation and one sacrifice at a time. The way you handle your marriage today is the training manual your children will use for their own families 30 years from now. A fractured home creates a ripple effect that touches people you haven't even met yet. You have the power to change that legacy starting tonight. It begins with a single conversation, a sincere apology, or the decision to simply be home and be present. Take a breath and let go of the anger you've been carrying. Let's ask for the strength to lead our families back toward the light. Father, we ask that you heal the homes that are currently breaking in silence. Remove the pride that keeps us apart and give us the courage to forgive. Comfort the children who are hurting and restore the peace that has been lost. We ask for unity and love to